of professors and high grade students. Universities also have to contribute to the communities which are around those universities, and for those who are not as blessed as the faculty or the students studying in that university. So how is that university contributing to communities around that university? क्या उस यूनिवर्सिटी की वजह से पब्लिक सेक्टर स्कूलों की सतार कार में बेहतरी आ रही है? क्या उस यूनिवर्सिटी की वजह से उस जगह का हेल्थ केयर का सिस्टम बेहतर हो गया है? क्या उस यूनिवर्सिटी की वजह से वहां के स्मॉल सेक्टर बिजनेस एसएमई सेक्टर है उसमें कोई बेहतरी आई है? क्या उस यूनिवर्सिटी की वजह से वहां के बेरोजगार नौजवानों के लिए कोई स्किल डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम आपने शुरू किया है? सो आपकी कम्युनिटी डेवलपमेंट में क्या कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन है? And the sixth indicator is how good is the corporate governance of the university. हमने करोड़ों रुपए लगाए हैं यूनिवर्सिटियों में, and I hate to say that in most of the universities we find less than satisfactory financial management. आप बताइए कितनी यूनिवर्सिटीज में चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट जो है वो ट्रेजरर या चीफ फाइनेंशियल ऑफिसर हैं? वो एक क्लर्क जो भर्ती हुआ था वो तरक्की करता करता सुपरिटेंडेंट बना, असिस्टेंट रजिस्ट्रार बना, डिप्टी रजिस्ट्रार बना और ट्रेजरर बन के बैठ गया। अब उसका ना उसके पास प्रोफेशनल नॉलेज है। कितनी यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं जो ईआरपी सिस्टम्स को इस्तेमाल कर रही हैं? किसी यूनिवर्सिटी में क्या सैप इस्तेमाल हो रहा है या जो यूनिवर्सिटी ने अपना ईआरपी बनाया है वो इस्तेमाल हो रहा है? फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट कैसी है? फैसिलिटीज मैनेजमेंट कैसी है? करोड़ों रुपए का सामान लिया है लेकिन वहां पे बायोमेडिकल का एक टेक्नीशियन जो है उसको नहीं रखा हुआ, उसकी मेंटेनेंस का बंदोबस्त नहीं है। सो कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस नॉट जस्ट अबाउट फिजिकल एसेट्स, नॉट जस्ट अबाउट फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट, बट ऑल्सो अबाउट एचआर मैनेजमेंट एंड अबाउट एवरीथिंग दैट इज देयर इन द यूनिवर्सिटी. A university also has to qualify as a high performance organization by definition if it has to do what is expected of that university to do. So उसकी जब तक इंटरनल कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस नहीं होगी वो यूनिवर्सिटी वो कुछ नहीं दे सकती. और सातवां इंडिकेटर, व्हाट इज द प्रोडक्ट दैट यूनिवर्सिटी इज प्रोड्यूसिंग? आप पैदा क्या कर रहे हैं? हाउ इज मार्केट रेटिंग इट? नॉट ओनली इन प्रोफेशनल टर्म, university is not just supposed to churn out robots for the country. Universities are also supposed to churn out responsible citizens. So जो character building है उसमें क्या contribution है? उनकी जो life success skills हैं वो क्या है? मेरे पास अक्सर यूनिवर्सिटी के बच्चे और बच्चियां आते हैं कि जी नौकरी चाहिए. Believe you me that most of them I have to teach how to stand straight. I have to tell them how to speak little louder so that I can and others can hear you. How can you look more confident? They don't know how to write their CVs. तो जो life success skills हैं, they are also part of education. So हमारा education system cannot just be about teaching textbooks. It has to also prepare them for success in real life. तो वो success factors उनको क्या यूनिवर्सिटी दे पा रही है, उसकी प्रोडक्ट कैसे देखी जा रही है? जैसे मैंने कहा, आप देख लीजिए कि आज के दौर का सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज क्या है. एंड दिस आई थिंक इज द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज दैट आवर एजुकेटर्स आर फेसिंग. टुडे वी लिव इन अ वर्ल्ड इन विच misinformation has become the number one threat to the global order. In the recent 2024 World Economic Forum, they asked the CEOs and the world leaders what are the 10 biggest threats and risks the world is facing in short term. What was number one? It was not nuclear war, nor was it climate change. It was misinformation. And number three was polarization, which is actually byproduct of misinformation. So today, with this age of micromedia, where you can amplify any message of hate, any message of prejudice on national and global level, societies are being torn apart with this misinformation through polarization. So now it has become a big challenge. How do we train our students? How do we impart them the cognitive ability that they should be able to filter between what is right and what is wrong? How can we train them to see that they must seek to verify every news that is coming to them? What was told to us in Quran 14 years ago, that believers, when anyone brings you a news, don't just believe on it blindedly, verify it so that you may not regret later. So I think that principle has become very relevant today. That we must train our students. How can they be responsible citizens? Because this is something which is very personal to me. I have survived a hate-based attack. One young boy whom I did not know. I had no animosity of any kind with that boy, who was fed hate through social media and some political parties of this country. He tried to take my life with a bullet, and that bullet still is in my body. And it reminds me every day that how serious this challenge of neutralizing the hate virus from our society is. So how do we prepare our children, our students, to be more responsible? Recently, you saw what happened in Lahore. The incident in Lahore is another eye-opener. That one fake news made hundreds of students destroy their own campuses where they were taking education. They virtually burned those campuses. And I remember, one of the teachers of that campus, when somebody asked him, what is your comment on this incident? He said, I must admit it is our failure. As a teacher, I have failed to train these students to understand what is right and what is wrong. And I'm ashamed. And I think this is a big responsibility on the teachers as well as education managers, that we must prepare our youth to be more responsible in wake of these challenges of our time, so that they become more responsible citizens and we can have greater tolerance in our society and we can build a harmonious society. So, I can go on and on because this is an area which is very close to my heart. But let me say in the end, Mr. Scott McDonald, I have an offer for you to make. I made this offer to Fulbright program when we were in government in 2013. They came to us and I said, we appreciate your Fulbright program, but I would like you to double the Fulbright program, and I am not asking you to give us a go-up. If you double the Fulbright scholarship, we will pay 50% of that additional fees. So they agreed and they said, you are the first country that has made such an offer to us, otherwise everyone wants free scholarships. So I want to make an offer. If Shivling Scholarship Program, you are willing to double, we will contribute 50% on the additional seats, which you will give us. So that is an offer, because I think we need to give our young boys and girls opportunity of going to the best universities in UK, Oxford University, Cambridge University, Imperial College, UCL, all these leading universities, and so that they come back and they serve our country. And also, if you can, is in this second phase, work with Higher Education Commission. The other challenge we face is that we have 13% tertiary education rate in Pakistan. India has 30%. Bangladesh has 25%. China has 60%. So if only we have to maybe come close to Bangladesh, we have to double the number of universities, the number of classrooms, the number of admissions. But we don't have teachers. We don't have faculty. So we need to have a crash program in order to train our faculty. So, if we can work out some program that will help our faculty members to do their PhD in good universities in UK, and those faculty members who have done local PhD to do their postdoctorate in leading universities, I think that will be also a big contribution to education system of Pakistan. Pakistan Zindabad, UK, Pakistan, Friendship, Hyderabad.